I'm 59, so I'm thinking about death all the time.
Still very young.
I'm young old. I mean, I think thinking about death is good. Hopefully it sensitizes to an appreciation of the breath we have and the relationships that we have the potential to have.
Keanu Reeves has always been a calm presence in a chaotic industry, but even he wasn't safe from the lawsuits that can drag a person down publicly and emotionally. In 2008, he was hit with a lawsuit that honestly felt more like a personal attack than a legal case. A paparazzo claimed Keanu had hit him with his car in Los Angeles. The photographer Allison Silva alleged that Keanu struck him while leaving a medical facility, causing him serious injuries. But what made this situation stand out was how the trial played out. Keanu didn't shout back or bash the media. He showed up, told the truth, and stayed composed throughout the entire ordeal. And here's what's wild. During the trial, Silva's credibility completely fell apart. Footage came out showing the photographer climbing a fence and carrying heavy camera equipment after the supposed serious injuries. Keanu's team pointed out the inconsistencies, and the jury didn't take long to rule in his favor. But the damage was already done in the press. His name had been dragged through headlines, questioned, doubted, yet he stayed solid, calm, and grounded. No public outburst, no counterattack, just the facts. Then came the 2009 paternity claim, which was even stranger. A Canadian woman came forward saying that Keanu was the father of not one but 4 of her children. She claimed he had used hypnosis and disguised himself to father the kids. Yes, really. The allegations weren't just false, they were bizarre. Keanu denied everything, and his legal team quickly filed to get a DNA test, which proved he wasn't the father of any of the children. The case was eventually thrown out, but it was another chapter of him being publicly accused, judged, and dragged through headlines based on nothing. And yet, he stayed quiet, humble, and gracious. Most people would have clapped back hard. He didn't. Because that's who he is. He lets the truth do the talking.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Early in his career, Keanu got hit with a reputation that stuck for way too long. Critics called him wooden, blank, even emotionless. Despite breakout roles in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Point Break, many in the industry doubted whether he had real acting chops. People liked his face, sure, but they questioned his depth. But here's the thing, Keanu didn't try to fight the narrative with words. He responded with action. He trained harder, he took on diverse roles, he worked on martial arts gunplay and choreography long before it became cool for actors to do their own stunt. And then came The Matrix in 1999. Neo wasn't just a cool character, he became a symbol. The film broke boundaries, and Keanu proved that being subtle didn't mean being forgettable. He did much of his own stunt work, trained for months in wirefo and combat, and committed to learning complex philosophical concepts the film was built on. Suddenly, he wasn't just that chill guy anymore. He was a global action icon. Years later, when people started sleeping on him again, he did it all over with John Wick. No over-the-top dialogue, no flashy gimmicks, just honest work, choreographed fight scenes, emotional silence, and a man broken by grief. People felt it. Audiences connected because there was something real under all that action. And it was him, the same guy who'd been doubted for years, finally shut everyone up. Not with hype, but with results. But even as his career soared, something unimaginable was happening behind the curtain, a pain that no amount of fame could heal. In the late 90s, Keanu found love with Jennifer Syme. She wasn't a celebrity in the spotlight, but she was in the industry, working with David Lynch and connected to the Hollywood scene. Their relationship was quiet, private, and real. In 1999, they were expecting their first child, a baby girl they planned to name Ava, but Ava was stillborn at 8 months. months. That loss alone would break most people. It shattered Keanu and Jennifer's relationship. They drifted apart, but sources say they remained close even when the romance faded. Just a year and a half later, tragedy struck again. Jennifer lost control of her car and died in a crash at just 28 years old. Keanu had to bury not just his daughter, but also the woman he once planned a future with. That kind of pain doesn't just hurt, it scars. And still, he never lashed out. So where does someone like that find the strength to keep giving even when life keeps taking?
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I don't know, no, because if you're a lover, you got to be a fighter.
How so?
Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? No, I'm kidding.
Keanu Reeves isn't the kind of celebrity who throws money around for attention. In fact, most of the time, you won't even know he gave anything unless someone else talked. And that's what makes his generosity so powerful. Over the years, Keanu has quietly donated millions to causes that matter to him, especially cancer research. What many fans don't know is that his younger sister Kim battled leukemia for nearly a decade. Keanu stood by her side, supported her through every step, and after she recovered, he didn't stop. He set up a private foundation in her honor, one that supports cancer research and children's hospitals, but he never put his name on it. He once said in an interview, "I don't like to attach my name to it, I just let the foundation do what it does." That's Keanu in a sentence. He's also known for taking pay cuts, big ones. During The Devil's Advocate, he gave up a chunk of his salary so producers could afford to bring Al Pacino on board. He did it again for The Replacements, helping the budget stretch enough to hire Gene Hackman. And when the Matrix trilogy exploded into a global phenomenon, Keanu made tens of millions from back-end deals. But instead of pocketing it all, he gave away a huge portion of that money to the special effects and costume design teams. Why? Because he believed they were the real heroes behind the movie's success. He didn't stop there. On the set of John Wick, Keanu was often spotted chatting with crew members, stunt coordinators, drivers, people behind the scenes that most stars ignore. He's given away Rolex watches to his stunt team, wrote them personal thank you notes, and treated them like family. To him, status means nothing, respect means everything. To understand why he's like this, we need to go back to where it all began, in a home filled with chaos, loss, and resilience. Keanu's early life was far from peaceful. He was born in Beirut, Lebanon, but his family didn't stay long. His father left when Keanu was just 3 years old, and that absence shaped a lot of what came next. Raised mostly by his mother, who moved them from place to place, Keanu never really had a stable home. They lived in Sydney, New York, Toronto, constantly moving, always adapting, and school didn't offer any relief. Keanu struggled with dyslexia, which made traditional learning frustrating. He bounced between schools and none of them seemed to fit. One teacher told him he was just too rambunctious, but he found peace in hockey. For a while, that ice rink was the one place where he felt in control. He was a skilled goalie, so much so that teammates nicknamed him The Wall. He even dreamed of playing professionally. But an injury shifted his path.
Finally, one from me. You're turning 50 this year.
Oh, yes, I am.
How do you feel about growing older?
It's fantastic. Glad to be here.
You're not worried about aging or?
Of course, yeah. Aging means death. Yeah, I'm totally freaked out.
You don't seem it.
I am. But, it's okay.
Okay.
Acting gave him something school never did, a place where he could express himself without needing perfect grammar or focus on the page. Still, the industry wasn't easy on him. He was told to change his name because Keanu sounded too ethnic. He was encouraged to be more aggressive, more marketable, more typical, but he never gave in. He stayed true to himself, even when it meant waiting longer for roles or being misunderstood. Still, through all the chaos, Keanu discovered something most people spend their whole life searching for. Over time, especially after facing so much loss, he turned inward. He began studying Buddhism, but as a personal journey, he's spoken about finding peace in simplicity, valuing stillness, and understanding that life is both beautiful and fleeting. His reflections on death are particularly profound. When asked what he thinks happens when we die, Keanu responded, "I know that the ones ones who love us will miss us. No complicated theology, just the truth. That kind of raw honesty isn't something you can fake, and after years of grief, he did find love again. With artist Alexandra Grant, their relationship, like everything Keanu does, is low-key and real. She's independent, intelligent, and creative. They've collaborated on art and books, and they support each other without putting on a show. What makes this love story different is that it's not built on drama. It's built on respect, understanding, and shared values. They didn't announce their relationship with fanfare. They showed up to an event hand in hand and let the world figure it out. And fans were genuinely happy for him because it felt earned. After everything he's been through, Keanu finally seemed to have a partner who matched his depth. And just when fans thought they knew everything about him, Keanu surprised us all again.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
At 60 years old, most people are thinking about slowing down. Not Keanu Reeves. In 2024, he surprised everyone by entering the Toyota GR Cup North America, a professional motorsports series, not as a guest, not as a celebrity cameo, as a real competitor. He raced at the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway, sharing the track with much younger, full-time drivers. And while he didn't finish at the front, that was never the point. For Keanu, it wasn't about winning. It was about doing something new, something exciting, something that reminded him and everyone watching that life doesn't stop just because you're older. It was the same mindset he's carried through everything. Try it, stay humble, and give it your all. Whether it's acting, writing, racing, or just being a better person, Keanu keeps showing up not because he has to, but because he wants to live fully and without regret. So what does this all mean? Why has this quiet man moved millions to tears? Keanu Reeves isn't just a movie star. He's a reminder of what it looks like to keep going when life gives you every reason to shut down. He's faced deep grief, been falsely accused, mocked by critics, and misunderstood for decades. And still, he never lost his kindness. He doesn't seek revenge. He doesn't chase headlines. He just lives with honesty, care, and purpose. Maybe that's why we cry when we hear his story, because somewhere inside us we wish more people were like Keanu Reeves. If this story touched you, hit that like button, subscribe for more real stories from Hollywood, and let me know in the comments. What's your favorite Keanu moment?